Hello, hi, Jeffrey Kinn, Sarasota Rising Living Arts Festival, Sarasota. Happy to be here for Visit Sarasota's Behind the Masterpiece. Okay, Muffy Lavens, are you a masterpiece? Because that's what the name of the show is, so you better be it.
Well, that is some high praise. I would love to be considered a masterpiece.
Okay.
So here I am. Let's talk.
Happy masterpiece. I see your chair is purple, so we might as well get right into. I would love for you to say the name of your organization for everyone out there, so they say it properly, please.
Yes. So I work at the Wezel Performing Arts Hall. Wezel, not Weasel.
It's
also
not
known
Weasel.
as the Purple Cow.
The Purple Cow. Yeah. So hi, and what's your role there at the Van Wezel?
I am the public relations director.
Wow. So you get to have all the fun.
It is a lot of fun. I get to work with a lot of the performers, met some great people over the years, taking them to different places and doing publicity with them. It is a lot of fun.
So you guys have been around since what, about 1976, right?
70.
1970. Oh, wow. You've been around for a very long time. And that building's been there. When did that building pop up? That was in the 70s as well, then obviously.
Yeah, so the building took place in the late 60s, and the first show to open the Van Wezel was Fiddler on the Roof, January 5th, 1970, I believe.
Wow, look at that. Fiddler tradition. You
Absolutely.
can't
And it's
go
been
wrong.
It's one that we've brought a bunch of times back to the hall. It is such a classic show. Broadway lovers love it. It's so much fun, and we love being able to bring it back.
Well, you're looking at somebody that's done all of the three sons, Model, Perchik, and whatever his name is. So I'm a Fiddler on the Roof. Yeah, I know. I can play
Awesome.
Jewish from far away. Okay. So will you explain to our listeners who may not be familiar with our region? So we're in Sarasota County, the Cultural Coast, and you guys are a very large, prominent organization, large theater, with a mission of really bringing in some amazing shows and events and educational programming. And I love your mission statement. So I actually wrote it down: to bring visiting artists into the community for meaningful education and outreach programs that help develop audiences.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. And
It is.
obviously very needed.
Yeah. So what's great about the Van Wezel is we are a touring house. So we are bringing in artists and shows from other places as opposed to producing them in Sarasota. So you are getting shows direct from Broadway. We just had Beetlejuice this past season, Moulin Rouge, which was incredible. And you are seeing that Broadway level talent that are coming directly into the Suncoast. We also have amazing comedians who come through, like Lewis Black was here this year. We have Leanne Morgan coming up. That'll be our last show of the season. So there's a lot of great opportunity to bring in artists and have a taste of arts, culture shows right in our small town.
And we think of ourselves as a small town, but we ain't, because our population just explodes during season, which is, for our sakes, almost over. Not that we don't want everyone to go home, because we don't. We want them to continue staying here and spending money and all sorts of things like that. But
yes,
wow, season is hard. You've had big names like Jerry Seinfeld there. I mean, I've been into your space, and it's a large. So how many seats are there in your auditorium?
So our auditorium is 1741. Have that one extra seat in there, which is actually a little bit smaller for some of the Broadway houses of today times. But we still, manage to pack those shows in real tight. We're walking through our offices like around crates sometimes if we have one of those really big Broadway shows in. Yep. But we make it work.
Saw Hamilton there last year. It was incredible. For those of you that are watching this podcast, over Muffy's right shoulder is actually the seating chart. I can see it.
Yep.
So the seating chart, it's different for most theaters because, oh my gosh, Theater 101, there's a name for that. Oh my gosh.
Continental seating?
Thank you. So there's doors on the rights and the lefts, and then the aisles are all the way through, which of course theater lovers love. Yes. Because the best seats are usually right in the center where there's an aisle. but then some people just want you to step over them and,
Yes, there are pros and cons to every style of seating. One of the great things with us having continental seating is it's actually a safer format because of those doors along the side. Every row has a door that they go to exit out of. It's about 3 rows per door. So if something were to happen, I get up, I go to that door, and I'm out. We actually did have an instance where the fire alarm went off with a almost completely sold out show, and we had everyone out of the building in 4.5 minutes.
That is amazing. That is because that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And for some reason, people don't listen. So, so at least they follow the people in front of you. Yeah.
And I was just in New York, and most of the Broadway theaters do have those center aisles. And when the show ended and it came time, I mean, you had so many people who were just trying to fight through their row and get out to that aisle where when you just kind of can continue straight down your row of seats, it makes it a little bit easier to get out. But again, if you have someone seated dead center and in the middle of the show needs to use the restroom or wants another drink or something, it is kind of a pain as you're disrupting everybody to get out. Just
a little, but that's why you have great ushers. You have such a great staff there. I always see friendly faces when I walk in the door. Mary Benzel is an amazing executive director, and I know she's been there for many years. And I've worked with her and been on shows with her and on panels with her. And wow, and Kyle Turoff I know is working. So you guys have a great team there. You overcome some adversity this past fall. Do you want to even think or talk about that hurricane thing that came in? Because you guys, for those who are listening, you guys are right on the bay, like 30 feet from the water. And of course, we did have just a little brush with the hurricane, and y'all got wet.
We sure did. Yeah, we had the Sarasota area faced 3 hurricanes, and I think 66 days is what it was.
Oh, yeah. I was here.
And Hurricane Milton, the last one, definitely took a toll on us. I was actually one of the first people at the building after the storm, and we walked into gunk and muck everywhere. The orchestra pit was filled with water. You could see the water lines from where it finally receded from, and we estimate that it was about 4.5 feet of water that was sitting in the building overnight. So we had to change our season a little bit this year. We closed from October to December, did about 6 months worth of work in 3 months to get everything up and running again. We opened January 2nd. We had Menopause the Musical 2 to 2 sold out crowds. Everyone was thrilled to be back. Yeah. And we still have some work to do this summer. We got pretty much everything ready for audiences to be able to come in. But we were ripping out drywall in the dressing rooms, and while we put walls back up, they're not quite finished. So things that we need to take care of this summer so that we can be top ready.
Been there, done that. It looks great from the front. Don't look behind the curtain. Yeah.
But the performers were all really great about it. They totally understood, what was going on and the situation we were in, and they were just happy to be able to be here and bring entertainment and these shows back to our audiences, because it's as much of a feel good for them as it is for our crowd.
And, you don't know what you got until it's gone. People, even like with COVID, people realize, oh my gosh, live theater, live performance is important to me. Let me have it now. So COVID was actually, I think, good for the arts in some way. I love, there's a little button. Have you been on your website lately? There's a little button that is the cutest thing ever. And it said the world's only purple seashell-shaped theater. Yep. It is hard to say, but I said it okay. So for those listening, you guys have a very unique purple color. You're right there on the water. And of course, lots of great activities happen there. And now there's thoughts of, is this the place we should stay? Should we build? Should we rebuild? I know there's a lot going on there. Does Muffy have an opinion? I mean, are you allowed to have an opinion, Muffy? I think you are.
Yes. So I will say this theater is wonderful, and it has housed shows for so many years. We are starting to outgrow the space, though, with Broadway shows getting bigger and bigger, and more trucks, more trailers, more set pieces. it is not feasible for many of today's standard shows. And I would love to see a state-of-the-art theater that can house some of the things. I mean, we've never been able to bring Phantom of the Opera in because we can't do the chandelier drop. So there are definite benefits.
You could do it. You could only do it once, which is very expensive.
Yeah.
We're going to drop that chandelier I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So there's definitely a reason behind the push for a new Sarasota Performing Arts Center, because we are such a amazing cultural coast, and we want to be able to continue to bring in these amazing world-class acts, and we're going to need eventually a theater that matches that.
Yeah, and you have to think for the future, and I think that's what most people. And for some reason I love change. It doesn't bother me, that things change. Sorry,
Right.
but we grow, and you have to grow and think to what will Sarasota look like in 10 years?
Right.
What will it look like in 20 years? And then how do you ride that wave? I mean, bless your hearts, keep at it. Have you always, how long have you been in the position that you're in now?
So I've been here at the Van Wezel for 3 years. I have worked in the arts industry prior to that. I was with Disney on Ice and Marvel Universe Live out at Feld Entertainment, and I handled their press and publicity.
Wow.
Yes, worked with 9 Disney on Ice shows, our Marvel Universe Live Arena show. So it was kind of fun taking this role on, because I went from being on the touring side where we were taking the shows places to being the ones bringing in the tours and having different shows and fun things happening all the time.
So there's a little bit of a different hat, but still's within your wheelhouse.
Yep.
And it's nice to have that perspective, to know what people are going through, to be in, I always feel like, a theater actors are always a little better because they can stand in other people's shoes and know how they feel. So that's probably a good thing for your position. Have you always lived in Sarasota?
No. So I moved down here about 11 years ago. My family has always had a vacation home in Sarasota.
Isn't that the thing?
Yes.
That is the thing for everyone. My grandma lived here, my parents moved here, or we have a vacation house here. So yes, sorry to interrupt, but I just have to marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, my grandparents had a beautiful condo on Siesta Key that got passed down through the family. And I had been living in New York. I originally grew up in Michigan, though, and I was kind of done with winter. And I was like, I need to go somewhere nice. So I came down here and I stayed in my grandparents' condo for about 6 months before I found a house and started planting roots and everything.
It is beautiful here. We have the things to happen lovely in the evening. We have things happening during the daytime. Really what a blessed community we are.
Yeah.
And we love it. When people visit, we love our snowbirds.
Yeah.
We love the taxes that they help pay, because, part of how we fund a lot of things are from the tourist development tax. And it's so important that people realize how that affects us and trickles down to all the arts groups and all the restaurants and all the florists. Yes. Anyway, I could go on about that forever. But so for you personally, because I know we are not our jobs, so that, you are allowed to have a life. You're a puppy mom? Is that
yes.
Are you a proud puppy mom?
I am. Oh, I love my dog. I love all of my dogs. My current dog, her name is Tiki. She is 13 years old. She actually came to me after my previous dog had passed away and her owner had passed away unexpectedly. So the shelter I volunteer for, Satchel's Last Resort, the executive director there called me and said, we got a Yorkie in. I know your dog just passed away. Would you be interested? So I fostered her for a couple months, and then it was perfect. We knew and made her mine. So yeah, I've had her about 3 years now. And it just worked out perfectly.
So Satchel, would you give them another plug? Because I'm familiar with the work that they do.
Yeah, so Satchel's Last Resort is a true no-kill shelter and sanctuary in Sarasota County. They rescue, rehab, and rehome dogs that most other shelters won't take, whether it's due to breed, behavior, or medical. I can tell you my little pup has all of the medical issues. She has a heart condition that we have medication for. She's going blind. But that's, I think, what makes Satchel so amazing is they're not going to give up on a dog or a cat because there's some health issues or some behavioral issues. They work with them and they find the perfect home for them.
Yeah.
There's so many great things I could say about them.
So we plugged Satchel's Last Resort, which is very, very kind of us. VanWezel.org.
VanWezel.org.
So
yes.
that's
Make
really
sure
the
you're
best way to
going
get
to org.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Make sure you are going to vanwezel.org because there is someone who has purchased vanwezel.com and it is a third-party ticket site. So you're going to end up paying way, way more money for those tickets than you will if you come directly to us.
I got to tell you, I was one of those people that I forget who it was. And I clicked on the thing and I went $540 and I made a comment on Facebook like, would love to see this show. I ain't paying, $540. And I forget who it was. It might have been Kyle. Literally said back to, that's not our site, and and they are tricky, and that is horrible. And they should be. I'm shaking my finger. If you're not looking, they should be fined or spanked.
Yeah,
no, that is
a
annoying.
Major problem. And we actually just redid our website this year. So I love that you've gone and looked at all the pretty things we've added to it.
But no staff listing yet. So
no.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Okay. Just know that I'm paying attention.
Summer project. Yes, but that was one of the things when we started pushing it out on social, and I actually sent a press release out about it because I'm like, we have drilled into people's heads, like, if this isn't our website, don't buy tickets from it. And now we have a new website that looks different, and we don't want people to be like, I'm not on the right site. So we were doing a little bit of a publicity push too, to just try and get people to be aware that we had a new site and they were still buying from the correct place.
Oh yeah, it looks great. I mean, what a great, you're very fortunate to be in that organization. Is this kind of, where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? Will you be running the Van Wezel in 10 years?
I will not be running the Van Wezel in 10 years. I can say that.
Okay.
No, I really enjoyed the marketing and publicity side of things. I will stay here as long as I am enjoying it and I like it. And I mean, I wasn't even seeking out this job. I kind of got poached for it. So that's kind of the way I approach things, that if something lands in my lap that comes along that makes sense in the right time, in the right moment, I will do it. But for right now, I'm happy and I get to see a lot of great shows.
Yeah. So you have a little bit of a holistic way of looking at things. What do you do for fun? Because I know it can't be sitting in that office, which looks like it's cold.
It is chilly in our office. I don't know why it is so cold in here today. But yeah, there's a lot of different things I do. I am a licensed Zumba instructor, so I have taught many classes at the gyms. Now I just pretty much sub with that because it's a little easier with my schedule. I also play roller derby. I am on the Bradentucky Bombers.
That is how I know you. Because I've talked to them. I've talked to people there before. They invite. Oh my gosh, I love that. So will you explain that just a little bit? Let's take a minute. The Bradentucky Bombers. So this is go ahead and talk. Ladies, roller derby.
Flat track roller derby team. We practice up at the Ellington Ice and Sports Complex, have games about once a month, and it is quite the athletic sport. I mean, you're skating, there's hits, it is so much fun. You have to come and watch it to really get a sense of what it's like. But being able to, just get out there and skate is super fun, especially since I grew up as a competitive ice skater. So this is kind of exercising those muscles again and getting myself kind of back in the swing of things.
Well, and you've got to find balance in your life. That's always the biggest challenge. So the Van Wezel, now you guys are about to close season, right?
Yep. So we've got a lot of graduations actually taking place. It's a great venue for so many of our local Sarasota schools to use for graduation. Yep. And then we have the comedian Leanne Morgan coming up at the beginning of June. She's here the 4th through the 6th. She was actually selling so well, we had to add 2 shows. Her first show, show sold out super fast. So we added a couple more. There are still a few seats available, but not many. So then we'll close it out with that and we'll gear up for next season, which will kick off in October.
What does next season look like? Because everyone, I got to tell you, if you live in the area, you wait for the Van Wezel mail drop. Like there it is.
If you're watching, I have a little sneak peek of the brochure. Well, it's not so much a sneak peek anymore because it has dropped.
Boom. Yes.
So MJ is our big show of the season next year. It takes place as Michael Jackson is bringing together his 1992 Dangerous World tour. And it has kind of these flashbacks that go back to his time with the Jackson 5 and how he started to kind of build this pop music empire. And I fortunately got to see it on Broadway, and it was phenomenal. So I can share that this is going to be a show that you absolutely want to get tickets to this season. We have some other great ones. The Neil Diamond musical called The Beautiful Noise. We're bringing back Book of Mormon, which is a favorite of everyone's.
So I saw Book of Mormon on Broadway. I had a single front row seat because I was there by myself. I spent more time looking around, looking to the audience behind me, thinking, are you all laughing at this? And why are you laughing at this? This is not funny. I mean, it's so horrific, but it's so funny.
Yeah. Dark comedy. You definitely have to have that right.
Well, yeah, but still funny, and so well written. And I walked away from that saying, I think this is the best musical I've ever seen. And everyone was like, what, Jeffrey Ginn, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. I have not seen MJ, and I do. I look forward to getting over there and seeing all the good things that you were doing. Again, the website is beautiful, vanwezel.org, and that has all the information, and you can click all the buttons. And the one thing I did really love, and I'm going to steal it for the website, for our website, is you have a visit our area thing, like so that you can look at hotels, look at restaurants, look at what's going on in the community. That's really nice. That's a nice ad.
Yeah, no, we definitely want to make sure that our snowbirds, our tourists, our part-time residents, even our full-time residents have kind of a quick guide to other things they can do if they want to grab dinner before coming to a show, or if they're looking for a hotel nearby. We're trying to make it as easy as possible.
Well, and really, our region is great. I mean, you have great parking. There's just all sorts. I mean, there's a little reconstruction happening there at the municipal auditorium in front of you. But I mean, this development that's happening is just going to help make our area better and stronger, and maybe more even hurricane resistant.
Yes.
I mean,
let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's hope for that too. And then where do you, when you're talking about what the Van Wezel does when it comes to performances?
Yeah.
I know for a fact, because I've been there and seen it, you do a lot of things for education and bringing school kids into seeing shows, sometimes for the very first time. Have you experienced that? Beautiful thing?
I have. We have a amazing education program. And actually, Justin has been on an episode of the podcast before, too. So you can go check out his episode to hear a bit more of our education department. But we do bring in school children from across the county to experience theatrical performances. They are specifically shows designed for young people. And it is amazing to see some of these kids experiencing theater for the first time, and they get so excited, the clapping, the cheering, it just gives you such a renewed energy. And I love when we have the little ones here.
As one of those kids, I remember always just, for me, of course, I want to be there. If a kid can be up there, then I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I got into theater, was by watching others saying, well, hell, I can do that. And sometimes better than the person on the, no, I'm kidding. The arts are so vital. One of my board members, you talked about, kid-friendly events. Though you never know what that's going to happen for those kids. And one of my board members, bless Jamie DiDomenico of Cool Today fame, he saw a play when he was 5 or 6. His school took him. It was The Elephant Man, which is a play about a disfigured person. I mean, I'm like, this is not for kids. But that experience changed him. And here's someone who's a technical person, runs an air conditioning company, built a huge air conditioning company here in town, and then looks back to that one event as it opened his eyes to live theater. And now he's on boards. He helps support the arts. But if that wouldn't have happened, none of that beautiful life would have happened. And you can have both.
Yeah.
I mean, kids you can have it all. So I love that focus.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's great. And our education department is amazing. They actually do a technical theater camp for students ages 12 to 18, where they get to learn the behind the scenes aspects.
I have it on my notes.
You do?
Because
Look at that.
No one else does that.
No, and that was part of it. Is our education director, Justin, had looked at what were the offerings in Sarasota, and there's a lot for singing, dancing, acting, but nothing that really got you behind the scenes. And because we have this incredible stage and we work with the union, we were able to create this camp that could bring in students to learn those backstage elements, because not everybody wants to be on center stage.
I don't know why, but it's true. The person that always wants to be on center stage with their microphone. You guys, listen, thank you for what you do. You guys do amazing work. And again, people just need to check you out. Read. Your social media is gorgeous. So keep all that up.
Thank you. I have a great PR and digital associate who handles most of that. She is incredible.
Communication is everything, and you're amazing. And when you're sitting there freezing and going, what the heck am I doing here? You have to think about all the people that are able to see live theater who maybe wouldn't be able to, and see shows that you do not have to fly to New York or go to Tampa to see. I mean, we have such a breadth of arts here in our region. And thanks for being a part of that, and for being a part of our podcast. Did you have fun?
I did. This was great. I'd love to do it again if you ever want me back.
Listen, I tell you, almost everyone Reed's nodding. Almost everyone we talk to, I'm like, well, we could talk for another 20, 25 minutes. So that be careful what you wish for. It might happen. So Muffy Lavens, vanwezel.org. Visit them. Make sure you hit them and see them. Thank you so much for being a part of our podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Jeffrey Ken as a part of Visit Sarasota's Behind the Masterpiece. We love listening to our arts practitioners, and we want you to listen as well. So make sure you join us at sarasotapodcast.com, and we'll see you at the next interview.